Cheap phones are becoming quite common, with models from Motorola that have really changed the landscape of what you can get for between £100 and £150. Now Sony wants in on the budget handset action, and the E3 offers much of the features that were rare on budget phones last year, like 4G, and it offers it for just £100. Although the features are pared back, the E3 does offer an IPS LCD screen, which, while only equipped with a fairly modest resolution of 480 by 854, it still has a decent amount of detail packed into its 4.5-inch display. It's not going to set the world alight, but it's a solid performer, especially when it comes to colour accuracy. The overall design is pretty solid though, which is one of the reasons to pick the Sony over some of the cheaper Chinese phones. Even so, the times of Sony having an automatic monopoly on good build quality are long gone, and many budget phones these days offer a surprisingly decent build quality. Still, the E3 feels pretty good, and it lacks the slippery surface of the Z3, so it should stay in your hand with relative ease. The 5-megapixel camera is good enough for 1080p video, and for tweeting selfies, or other such modern frippery. This is no Z3 though, so the photos won't match those of the frankly spectacular 20.3 megapixel camera in that phone. There's an LED flash for darker conditions, but don't expect too much from it. The front camera, the one most commonly used for selfies, is only VGA quality too, which is something of a disappointment in this day and age. The processor is a 1.2 GHz quad-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 400, which is more than capable of keeping everything ticking along quite nicely, and Sony has installed Android 4.4 for a solid user experience. The big problem with the E3 really is the installed memory. The phone has 4GB and much of it is taken up with the phone's OS and Sony's applications. That gives you less than 2GB for your photos, music and video. You can add a microSD card of up to 32GB, but this is only useful for media and photos. Apps pretty much need to be installed on the phone in modern Android devices. You do get an FM radio too, which is a little bit more useful than you might think. If you're bored of your own music, then taking it old school with a little bit of wireless action is often a more than welcome break. The battery is reasonable too. At 2,330 mAh, it should be enough to drive this phone for at least a day and possibly two, and that's another advantage of a slightly slower processor and lower resolution screen. So the E3 isn't without its charms. It does suffer from being a big brand, which means it doesn't quite offer some of the bargains of other handsets from the likes of Huawei and Motorola. It's a nice enough phone though, and if you're on a budget, it should be on your list of handsets to consider.